It's a girl
It's great.
thing. Yeah.
Dad doesn't care if he has friends.
Yeah,
It's fine.
You know,
I
if you
care.
don't like me, that's fine.
You don't like me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I do fine.
Yeah.
We're going. We're doing this about friends.
We're doing
Yeah.
this about friends.
And we have
I would have a bunch of those, but nobody likes me.
really
Yeah.
why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I ain't no good.
Well, you know, I have those thoughts
Yeah.
too.
Hey, if you didn't know, we have Savannah on the podcast
Hi.
today. She actually lives right next to us.
I do. Bless
She's
your
the
hearts.
neighbor of the chicken lady.
Oh
We
my
talked
gosh.
about the chicken lady.
I'm the chicken.
This
You're
is
the chicken
her.
lady.
Oh my gosh.
And I think I mentioned that you're a city girl with your
I-
chickens.
yes.
And I love it because me too. I don't have chickens, but when we did at our house out here,
No, this is about as close as I ever want to be to like the ranch life, farm life. Yeah, it's
Yep.
exhausting. I'm stressed. I'm tired. I fell in love with these chickens, and it's exhausting.
they're like your children.
Yeah,
They're more work than your children.
They are, and Instagram did not tell me that. I was prepared for cutesy chicken life.
Now, you wait
Like-
a minute. You looked at chickens on Instagram?
You know I did. You know it. Okay.
You know she did.
I thought it was going to be so cute.
Did you ever think about, like, the agricultural extension agent?
I mean, I'm prepared for some eggs,
Yeah.
but now I'm like, are those eggs coming? I don't know.
How old are your chickens?
6 months.
They're about to come.
I know, hopefully. But more keep turning into roosters. We didn't know that was a
Well,
thing
now,
either.
those roosters are not going to lay a lot of eggs.
I know. We've had to get rid
You're
of
going to
two.
have some baby chickens.
And I'm not prepared for that.
I know we're not talking about the whole male-female thing, but if you have a rooster and a cow
Oh,
and you
no.
want some milk, you can't get it out the rooster.
Hey, now you know something about the farm life.
I know.
Well, I'm trying to say that what sex you are matters.
Oh.
Well, that's true. And my husband did say, I think they were always a rooster. Why are you just discovering these are roosters? I'm like, look, I don't know.
How was I supposed to know?
I know. Now we're all just-
How do you tell the difference between a baby chicken and a baby rooster?
I'm not the one
Well,
to
you
tell
let them
you.
get bigger.
They get bigger and then they just randomly
So then you
start
were
growing.
right. So you are smart.
Ish.
You basically can do the ranch life now.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
they have a way to sex them, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
If you guys
I'm
know,
not a big chicken guy. I'm a cow guy.
well, if you ever just peek out your window, you will just see some things happening.
I always
other day
I
when
always
we
do. It's a lot of
Trucking
fun.
stuff out.
I don't
We need
know,
to
I'm
start
loving it.
sitting on the front porch.
Oh, goodness.
We don't even have to watch TV at our house. We could just go sit on the porch and watch
The Smiths
Savannah.
are outside. Yeah.
No, I
Sam-
love it.
Yeah.
Savannah and Cleveland show.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is. Always with our 4 kids, now these chickens.
Yeah.
It's insane.
How do you even have time for a personal life?
Well, you know, I try, but then you have to have the right people in your life during the seasons that just get it. They get it when you're busy or when schedules, sports, all the things.
Yep.
And it makes it a little easier, but you know.
Look what she just did. She just set us up for the topic.
Oh,
She's so good.
Yeah, she did.
That was my attempt at
That was
making it
smooth.
natural.
I hope it even made
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it definitely did. So we're talking about godly friendships today
We are.
and how, I don't know, for me it's hard
What?
finding godly friendships,
It is.
especially at this season of my life, college. It's tough. I feel like a lot of my friends don't even live here. I mean, I have a couple. Caleb's sitting over there, so I'm not going to discredit Caleb. He's going to cry if I do.
Well, this
Me and you
you're
are friends.
talking about girls, though, that were friends.
Yes, girls. I was
Yeah.
saying like my closest godly friendships are like Caleb and other guys. And so I'm struggling to find friendships with girls, and I think I am figuring out why. This conference I just went to a couple weekends
It looked
ago.
amazing.
It was called the Sister Conference, and they came in and everybody's like, hey, we're all sisters here. Like, I'm like, I don't even know these people. Like, this is a little, in my opinion, if I'm full disclosure, like, this is a little corny to me to call us all sisters. I've never met these people. It's cute, whatever. But at the end of the weekend, I was like, no, these are my sisters. Because they explained it as like, we're here to support each other. We're here to build each other up. And I think part of the issue that I see is this underlying unspoken competition all the time. And
especially in women.
Yes. I think it's more women than men. I mean, men compete, but they just flat out say it to each other and they have fun with it, I feel like.
Yes.
Whereas women, it's like
hidden.
I heard this the other day and I love it.
I didn't say this stuff.
No, we're saying it.
They're doing it to themselves. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. But somebody said the other day, take yourself out of the running to be the best. And I love that because, like, I feel like we always feel the need to be the best. And when we do that, I feel like the reason most people struggle to find godly friendships, authentic godly friendships, is because we sit back here and we compete. We, like, sabotage ourselves because we think it's a threat that other people are successful, if that makes sense. Which I would never actually say that. I just think that's maybe what's happening in the back of our minds.
I think we as women, me, myself.
No, you can include me.
I push down so many feelings. So then when I see another person doing something that a lot of the times I wish I could do it, raising chickens.
Yeah, like raising chickens.
Since I have so many things pushed down and hidden, that's where that like tension could come from.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah.
You might not even feel it.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm telling myself all of these things that I've constantly just pushed down over the years. Of, a lot of people can say trauma or whatever it is. And then it makes...
Stormy just snores sometimes. Don't mind her. That was actually crazy.
That was so good.
So tell me about these traumas.
Well,
okay, if you don't have to go.
Insecurities are huge. Insecurities.
Welcome to counseling. Tell me about your trauma.
It's the pillows. It makes you comfy. Yeah. It makes you want to pour out your heart. Yeah. But I mean, as a woman, I struggle with insecurities, and if I see another woman doing something, it might keep me away from her.
Absolutely.
No matter what she's doing. If I just can't get over those emotions that I maybe have suppressed or whatever they've built up to be.
Insecurity is like you're not as good as they are.
Yes.
Quickly. Those thoughts enter quick.
And you don't mean to do that because I think I always tell myself, like, I'm going to be supportive. I want to be kind. I want to be loving. And I want to have friends. And good for them. But deep down, for some reason, it feels like somebody else's success is not it's not a threat to you. It's not going to stop you from being successful. But I think sometimes we compare and we think they have a quicker timeline. It's happening for them faster. And it makes you feel like, I don't know, sometimes in a way it makes me feel like, oh, I'm not even worthy to be your friend.
Yeah. Social media. That's all women see all day.
Social media.
Maybe I'll stay off social media.
Yeah.
Except for our podcast.
Right.
Yes. And Sunday morning.
Which in all of this, of this is not how I always feel. I think it's what's happening a lot of times underneath the surface that we don't even realize. And I really had to study hard with the Lord and talk to the Lord about maybe it's because I'm spending too much time comparing instead of celebrating other people. Yeah. Which I don't mean to do.
Well, maybe I ought to be on the page God has me on.
Yeah.
Not the one He has them on.
Yeah.
Because if I can just be the best me I can be,
yeah,
then I should be secure in my skin. I'm pleasing the Lord. That's the only one I got. I got an audience of one.
Yes. And it comes with so much time. I think I myself want everything so quick.
Yeah.
Right? So, and God does this lovely little thing called waiting.
Yeah. It's really messed up.
I don't like waiting.
No.
And so some of those times or those seasons of my prayers of like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I find my people? Please bring me this community. It's this waiting period that we all go through for many different things. But after we're out of it, we always reflect, oh, that's why it was silent, because I needed to grow in, this is who I am. This is where you're calling me to be, the things you're calling me to see. And I think every single year with age, and I feel like I'm still young. Okay, 32
You are, girl.
is rocking.
You're still
I
young.
still feel like I'm young.
Don't let anyone
Yeah.
tell you different.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. No, I like that. And I think that's very true. I think we have to stop looking at others. Like your success is independent and growth is independent. And other people aren't throwing you down. We have to look to what the Lord defines as purpose instead of what everybody else is doing. Like, for example, this week I started going back to the gym with my brother.
You go with your brother
Avery.
too? Oh, that's a different kind of workout. Working out with a man.
Let me just tell you, I don't fit in there quite. No, I look like a 12-year-old little girl. I've got like my pink shorts and my pink shoes
Cute.
and my purple 5-pound weights and I'm like, I don't really fit in here. But the thing is, nobody cares. And thank goodness, because if I was comparing and looking at, I don't fit in here, I would never go and I would never grow, because I always think I'm never going to be them. I'm not trying to be them. I'm trying to be the best me.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to make y'all laugh.
Okay.
So me and my two friends that I suckered into coming, we do Pilates at the gym.
I love
You want to know who
Pilates.
does Pilates? No one.
No.
At that gym.
Well, y'all do.
And we're in the corner doing all
on the
of these-
turf.
in the turf,
Yes.
doing all of these crazy things, and we have no idea what we're doing. So you just come on to our time.
You know what? I
With
love
your little
Pilates.
5-pound weights
Wait,
in your
bring
pink
the
shorts.
weight.
Yeah, it's true. So Dad,
Yes.
do you struggle finding godly friendships? Do you share this?
Yeah, does it ever end?
Well, I'm sitting here listening. I'm thinking, honestly, if you have one good friend in a lifetime, I'm talking about a good friend. You have different areas of relationships, but to have even one good friend in a lifetime is probably a big deal. So let's say you get my age. Well, what you find out is that my best friend's my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather be with her than anybody, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I have a lot of people. I know a lot of people. A lot of people know I can't go anywhere. That I'm not running into people and doing counseling all day, everywhere I go. But to say that I've had a lot of real close relationships in my life, no,
Yeah.
I have to be everybody's friend,
Yep.
which kind of narrows down being one person's friend. And I've had a few. There are people I'm closer to than others, but
That comes with ministry. The deeper into ministry I even get, I feel like, honestly, first of all, the deeper into ministry and the closer to the Lord I get, the less I feel the need to have so many friends.
Yeah.
But I also think, like you're saying, like you have to be a friend to everybody. And I think a lot of people don't even think about that, and they assume, well, you're everybody's friend. You have a lot of friends. But the truth is, you don't have very many intimate
Well,
friends.
not close friends. Of course we have people hang around with
Yeah,
that I consider good friends.
for sure.
But the amount of those you're going to have in life are going to be few and far between. And honestly, I think you have to get beyond the point where I feel like I have to measure up to anybody.
Yes,
I have an audience of one. The one I have an audience of is God.
absolutely.
And if I'm pleasing Him, I feel like I've had a good day.
Yeah.
But
But girls, I think, crave friendships.
I think
Maybe more than
I
men.
think there's a difference between girls and guys.
Yeah.
No, in that area, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of differences, but
Yeah.
in that area, there's men can do by themselves pretty well.
Yes.
Most of us,
Yeah.
I like my alone time. I like me.
He loves himself.
Here we are
Self-love.
talking about trauma.
No, that came out wrong. It's not that I like me so well. It's just that I like my time, my
Yes.
cave time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think for sure it's important to just support each other. The way you find a friend is not to compare yourself. It's to be there for them. And I think you have to be there not just when it's fun. This is finding a close friendship. Like you have the friends that it's like, oh, I'm going to go to their wedding. And I have the friend that I'm going to go to their birthday party. And then I have the friend that I'm going to sit down with and I'm going to have a real one-on-one conversation about what I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
And I think I seek, and I hope that comes across, I want to be that type of friend. I want to be the friend that you can come to and pray with. And I think that's really important. Like, you don't want to be the type of friend that's like, okay, ask yourself this in a friendship. Would that friend be surprised if you didn't show up to their birthday party? And if the answer, yes or no, it doesn't really matter. Would they be surprised if they didn't show up to, like, your grandma's funeral? You say, no. Well, then maybe you're not that great of a friend.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is so biblical. Ralph Waldo Emerson
Uh-huh.
said the best way to have a friend is to be one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm not willing to be a friend and invest in a friendship, I can't be one. But a true friend is somebody that will drop everything and be there.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
There's this really beautiful story that I love. I believe it's in Mark, so please tell me if that's not where it is.
Well, he can tell you. I don't think I could.
Well, it's a story of friendships, and these friends carried their, what is the word, paraplegic?
A paraplegic, yeah.
I just heard that this morning, and I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, their friends who had such big faith in their friend that needed Jesus did not. And these friends went out of their way, literally on a roof, to drop their friend in just to be around Jesus. And I'm sure I'm telling this story now.
No, you are. You are.
You're doing fine.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
what you
good.
need, though. You need the friends that when you're struggling and you can't get up, they're going to bring you back to Jesus.
They're gonna,
They know
yes,
what you need.
have to.
You don't need the friends that are going to say you need alcohol, you need drugs, you don't need those friends that are just going to pull you down. You need the
those
friends
are
that are
not
going to take you back to
friends, are they?
Jesus.
No.
No.
A friend is always going to build you up and make you better.
There's
Are
this
they not
really
real
cool
friends?
saying of, you are the sum of the five you hang around.
Mm.
So if you see a friend group, you can almost figure out who that person is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that took time for me to even grasp. And again,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still very mature in all ways, or younger in so many ways.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have 5 friends? Because I don't even know if I have 5 friends.
well, for so long in my life, I have always felt like I needed 20.
Yeah.
30 friends.
Yeah.
For sure. Because somehow I needed, and I loved that story for such a long time in the Bible, but somehow I always needed, even though I had this 30 big friend group, I needed at least 4 of them to okay, you need Jesus, let's anchor you back down.
Yeah.
And again, that part never stuck with me of that man, correct me, but he had 4 friends. 4. That I just skipped right over that part for so many years.
Or at least he had 4 people that cared enough about his
Yes.
condition
Yes.
to want to get him healed.
To
Yep.
want to get him healed, and because of their faith, Jesus healed him.
And yeah.
Yes. So, anyways, I always thought I needed a large friend group, and then I got that large friend group.
Yep.
And again, I went through lots of long seasons of praying for that friend group. So
Yeah.
when I got it, it was so many things, worldly things, the excitements that come with it, the constant every other day we're doing something and these big parties and all of these things. And then one day I literally remember this like yesterday, but I woke up in the middle of the night. I woke my husband up and was like, I don't think I can be in that group anymore. And it made literally no sense.
What do you think that was?
Oh, it was
What
definitely the Lord was bringing me back to the 4. That anchor in, are these people going to bring you closer to me? Why are you with them?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Holy
Yeah.
Spirit said,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
This group is taking you the wrong direction.
The wrong direction. And you know what's crazy is if you just looked at the group, they didn't look that way. And
Yeah.
I mean, they're great people.
Yeah, no,
And
I understand.
you would never gather that I felt these things, so it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it didn't make sense to my worldly wants or my worldly thoughts.
Yeah.
But every time I got back in the Word, it was so clear, this isn't your friend group.
Yeah.
And I had to do the most ridiculous thing, and it was stop.
And that's hard.
Oh my God.
So hard, because
Yes.
the Lord says it's going to be worth it, but it doesn't say it's going to be easy. And that is tough, because people don't understand what the Lord's put on your heart.
Oh, yeah.
And it is discouraging. I love the different seasons that we're in right now. Like, I've noticed that some of the times when I feel like I'm hanging out with friends the least, that's when I have time for Jesus the most. And then I feel like sometimes when I have less friends, you know, and not always, but like right now, my walk with the Lord is very close, because he is my best friend. And I think that we can't, I don't think we should discredit that Jesus, even if he is your only friend, which he's not my only friend right now. I have friends. I have a little bit of friends. But it's like, it's okay though. And it's good. And getting to know Jesus, like sometimes he strips us of our friends so that we can, he's like, hey, I'm your friend. Be my friend. And then he puts those godly friendships in your life, because you have to keep him at the forefront. And once you put him first, everything else falls into place.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened later.
Yeah.
After I stepped away from this large friend group, a lot of things started shifting and changing almost rapidly. Like, and like an eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was very dramatic. Believe it or not, for me. I'm
Very
the drama
dramatic.
all the time. But what followed was those friends that have such an anchor in Jesus and are the friends that I call and immediately send me straight back to the Word, or send me a Bible verse, or immediately when I'm texting, they're calling right after I send that text.
It's amazing.
Yes, and it really is so precious when we can find those people to root us back in God.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the only ones that are true friends.
Yeah.
Well, Dad, do you have any biblical input to add to this?
Of course. There's
Preacher?
all kinds of biblical input, you know, you
Yeah.
could put into it. I guess if I were to go to Scripture, and this primarily probably has to do with marriage, but I think it goes into all friendships. And Paul tells us, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers.
Mm-hmm.
For what partnership have righteousness and lawlessness, or what fellowship has light with darkness? Or what harmony has Christ with Belial? Or what has a believer in common with an unbeliever? And that's kind of, in other words, he says, if you run with the skunks, you're going to smell like them.
True. You just sounded like a Robertson right there. You're on Duck Dynasty.
Well,
But it's
probably
true.
not far from it, but that's
Yeah.
kind of the way it is. But
No, it's true. And I like that. There's more scriptures that go with that. Bad company corrupts good morals. That's very true. I would rather have 0 friends than friends who corrupt my character. Because like you said, you're the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah.
I always tell my middle school girls, you are who you hang out with. Think about that. Because even if you're not necessarily conforming to what they're doing, which is kind of hard not to do,
Yes.
people around you see that and they associate you with whatever they're doing.
I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't make me better.
Yes.
And I don't want to I don't want to be around even Christians that are negative.
Yeah.
You know, if they're always telling me you can't,
Yeah.
and
Or
and-
laugh whenever
and
you
they're
have
always,
a...
you know, I don't want to be around them. I want to succeed and I want to move
Yes.
forward. And I think me and God can do anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, I don't want somebody that's. I really don't like to be around negative people.
Yeah.
No, I've hit that.
Yeah.
Find the friend that when you say, I'm going to sell all my stuff and move to Africa to be a missionary, that's going to applaud you and not say, well, are you sure that's from God? Like, I mean, to an extent, it's
Ooh.
okay. But
It's all right to want to know if you're following the Lord's will, but
yes,
the ones that kill me are the ones like, sometimes God gives me some crazy idea, just nuts, and you tell somebody else about it and say, well, you can't do that.
and they shoot you
And
straight
I'm like,
down.
well, me and God can't.
Yeah.
No, literally, that was me leaving that friend group.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like,
Yeah.
even my husband was like, what? You
Yeah.
talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this literally awakening because he woke me up.
That conviction is real.
That conviction is
And
so
honestly,
real.
when you're married, it's a different story
Yes.
because you've got a family now,
Yes.
and you made that's a commitment you make with the Lord.
Figure it out.
And so, once you have a family, honestly, you don't have time for lots of outside friendships. You want to. I wish I could go do this or that, but you can't.
You can't.
You've
No.
got commitments.
Yes.
And as you go through the different seasons of life, like Friday night now, well, I'm going to watch a grandson
Yeah.
play football.
Yeah.
So you're always getting into that next area of life where if your friends don't happen to be there,
Yes.
well, you got responsibilities, and responsibilities take over friendships.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
They
always feel very like I don't know what's happening because in college they tell you like that's the time you're gonna live it up the most, and like you're gonna have all these friends and all this time to hang out, and I'm like,
Where is it?
every time my friends ask me to hang out, I'm like, yeah, you could come over while I do a quiz real quick
Yes.
and read my school. I'm like, when do y'all have time? I don't understand.
Yeah. Listen, I have 4 kids. I still
Yes.
don't have the time.
Yes.
My friends and I have to schedule out a movie 2 months in advance to even go see a movie.
You have time for what you make time for.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
somehow, and for some reason, I filled it with chickens. So
You weren't, not like you were busy enough.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
the
needed to
chickens.
add some chickens.
It's just, it becomes too much.
No, I love it. I love it. But I also love that verse, just simple. Iron sharpens iron, so one friend sharpens another.
Let me look up this verse right quick.
Oh, he's got a better
I've
one.
got it. No, that's a good verse.
That is
we
a
were
good
talking
verse.
about all these friends, and Proverbs. Now, Proverbs are not promises. Honestly, they're probabilities.
Okay.
It's a book of wisdom, so it's not like the one that says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." Well, that's not God saying that's going to happen every time. That's the wisdom of God saying most times this is the way it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
So you need to look at Proverbs in that light when you're reading it.
It's not a guarantee, it's a possibility.
Right. So Proverbs 18, I hope I got this right. 24, I believe.
Oh, is that
I
Yes.
literally have that right here. And Savannah read that before we even started
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah, a man of too many friends comes to ruin.
Yep.
Friends, hard on the S.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hard on
That's
the S.
right.
But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Of course, that's Jesus.
That's Jesus.
Mm.
And as long as I got him, I'm good. And I really am myself.
Yeah,
I'm good with Jesus.
for sure. I totally agree.
Because he supplies everything else I need.
Now, does that mean it's bad that if you have friends?
No, I have friends,
Yeah.
People we hang out with.
Yeah.
You know what's really hard with couples is finding 2 people that square up with the other 2 people.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
haven't gotten into that one yet. But
No. Bless up. I'm living
But-
my best life single.
But what happens so many
She's
times
busy.
is like
She's
I'm busy, y'all.
the
Don't need
wife
friends.
will like one a whole lot,
Uh-huh.
but then I don't really gel with the,
Yeah.
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 the husband, or the other way around.
Yeah.
And then you
Do
add
y'all run
kids
into
into
that?
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then you
And
add
then the kids
and
don't like each other.
The kids don't like each other, or maybe they have one kid. We have 4 kids, so it's
Yeah.
a circus all
Well,
the time.
ours growing up, like my parent, like my dad. Can I say your age on here?
Mm-hmm.
He's 68. My oldest brother, how old's Nat? 42?
40 some odd.
41 maybe?
44 maybe.
44? Wow, I'm way off. Anyways,
I'm not even that old.
You're not.
but growing up, like me and Avery, my younger brother, all of the people my parents hung out with were like, their kids were grown and married, and we're like, hey, me and they were like, hey, wanna do Legos together, me and you?
Yeah. Yes.
But hey, at least I have a sibling. But yeah,
Mhm.
I can see that. The different seasons, different friendships, different personalities
Mhm.
doesn't always fuse together well.
No.
It's hard to find.
But honestly, the Lord brings into your life who needs to be there.
What
And
if
if He didn't
I
bring them in there, you probably don't need them.
You probably don't need them.
what if I am the person who just desperately craves a friend? What do I do? Cry about it?
I think that for me, that also is like when you're at the very bottom and all you have is Jesus and all you can seek is Jesus and run to Jesus. I wish somebody would tell me that whenever I just tell myself, man, I wish I just had somebody to go to a movie with.
Yeah.
Or because it's usually in those times that I'm probably far away from Jesus.
Yep.
In my life, at least.
Yeah. Whenever you're busy.
Oh,
That's
just
everybody.
whenever I disconnect
Mm-hmm.
from literally the friend that Jesus can be to us, then I just start to, well, I don't have anybody,
Yeah.
you know,
And then you feel lonely,
lonely.
isolated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll never be invited. You're never that one friend somebody calls. That's always the
This
thoughts.
is a girl thing. Right here.
Is it?
This is a
I
girl
told
thing.
you it's emotional.
It's a girl
It's great.
thing. Yeah.
Dad doesn't care if he
Yeah.
has friends.
Yeah,
It's fine.
You know,
I
if you
care.
don't like me, that's fine.
You don't like me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I do fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed this about girls though. They're always talking about, well, they chose them over me.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not
This-
me. I don't care. That's a lie.
That's a lie. I just think because
Whenever I was younger, I
But and
always-
rejection's hard. Rejection's tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Guys just do friendships differently, so I don't even belong in the conversation.
No. And I mean, my husband would agree too, you know. But I will say, my lovely husband, who's a Marine, he doesn't have 100 friends calling him either. You know, it really, now I pray he says I'm his best friend.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you know. But I will say he does have his people that no matter what is going on, if something, he doesn't use social media, but I do. If somebody sees something that I post, they'll call him immediately. And I'm like, how do they even see that?
Yeah.
Like, why are they on my page?
You're all.
But it really is a select few out of all these years he's served and everywhere he's been. I never hear about the hundreds. I always hear about 2 people,
The
3
few.
people. And it is those people as he grows.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, something he said a long time ago to me was, because we're approaching 11 years together. which is
Whoa.
simple, I know. But something he said to me a while ago was, all of your friendships seem to fade out. And it
Oh,
just
you're like,
was
thanks.
oh,
That
Well,
that's painful.
yeah.
that may
Gee.
be a guy thing
Yeah.
because men don't stay in touch.
No, they don't.
Okay, like Sugar Lump, we're gonna meet somebody off somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're still talking later on. Well, I've moved on. Yeah,
Caleb's shaking his head. Yes,
And
Caleb
that's what
agrees.
he meant. Yeah, but I just was like, well,
I guess it is a guy thing. I don't know.
It is.
I'm like, how can you seriously just move away and not care to talk to me anymore? Like, what? We
Right.
were friends.
I want to know every detail.
That's how I have felt for sure.
Yes.
I'm like,
well,
what
when
the
you
heck?
Move, you get new friends,
New friends. I know. I
and
know.
and there are levels of friends.
Yes.
Like if something happened to me today, I guarantee you there'd be 400 people that would be there. What?
Your mic's not at your mouth anymore. You hit
Oh.
it. You're too passionate over there.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm trying to do it
Can you-
subtle, but of course
can
you
you-
gotta be like, what?
I don't do so.
I mean, do we cut stuff out?
No.
If something
No, look at him. No.
It's
if
called probably
something
shouldn't say that.
happened, there would
Okay.
be 400 people there helping, doing. But how many of those are what we call close friends, people you run around with?
Who would you call in
But
your
these are
house?
people
Yep.
who really care, and I care about them.
Mhm.
Because if they go down, I'll be there too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But does my phone ring? My phone is not going to ring today, probably with somebody who would just want to know,
How your day was.
how are you doing today?
Yes.
You know, do you want to hang out?
It's amazing.
If my phone rings, it'll be somebody in a crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that should be a lesson. I mean, you're a preacher, so it's a little different, but still not. That should be a lesson to us that don't just go to somebody when you need them either. That's not being a friend. You know? Go to
And
them.
it starts with us first,
Yeah.
right? I feel like there's a lot of times that I do a lot of reflecting onto people. Even my own emotions, I'll push that onto you, thinking you feel the story I tell myself. That's it right there. I tell myself this story when really you're just like, well,
You're like, wait,
it
what?
was a long day. Yeah.
Sorry.
But I'm already having a full conversation
Yeah.
with myself. I think, who says that? Brene Brown, I think. The story she tells herself. Instead of just, it's a thing. Really.
It's just like, it's a thing, I promise. I'm
whole
not
time I'm
crazy.
just gonna say that.
No, I know.
Yes,
yeah. No, you're
but
right.
Instead of projecting onto that or projecting that onto people, just
We
come into you.
overanalyze things. And I think at the end of the day, just be a friend, be authentic. That's a big deal. And
Be yourself.
and be yourself.
And
And
if
don't
you're
try to be
being a
everybody else.
hypocrite about your walk with Christ, you are always having to put on and change clothes,
Yeah.
depending on who you're with.
Yes.
Yep.
But if you just be in love with the Lord,
Yeah.
you can be the same person all the time.
Yep.
You can be genuine, real.
Yep.
Those people are precious.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that the 400 come, they walk through the door instead of waiting outside.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's even that, to see who your people are. It's unfortunately when things go south.
Yeah.
Real bad.
And
Yeah.
everybody comes who actually comes in to help
So be the person that's there in the hard times too.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a lot of people that genuinely love me.
Yes.
You do.
No, you do.
And, broccoli loves you too.
No, broccoli is of the devil.
broccoli,
Every
he
Sunday.
calls it the
Mentioned
devil's
at least
weed.
once. I
He
know.
yeah. Do
I
you like
know.
broccoli?
Listen, I'm a mom with young kids. I gotta give them all the things right
You're
now.
gonna give your children gas.
Let me tell you something. I think I'm pretty healthy, and I was never forced to eat broccoli.
I bet. I bet.
Did you
I
just
don't-
say gas?
Uh-huh.
That it will give you, yeah.
You probably shouldn't
Anybody
say
that
that.
thinks that gas is not funny is just too spiritual.
That's what I say. Justin always tells me that I'm the only girl he knows that laughs at farts.
Y'all fart around each other? What's happening here?
Well, okay, usually it's not me, but if somebody else does it, like, it's funny, and if you don't laugh,
And it's awkward.
you just hate your life if you don't care about.
That's what
if you
makes
can't laugh
it
about
funny.
farts.
It's
So-
awkward.
The worst is like smelly, because then we're all just having to act like it's not happening, and it's happening.
But if you have a real friend,
The real one.
The real ones,
Yes.
I
you
think
can
that,
be you.
and the real ones won't call you out in public and be like, "Oh my gosh, did you fart?"
Will they though?
No, they will. They will, and it's humiliating.
I think, though, seriously, throughout all of this with friendships, praying for the discernment as I'm growing in friendships,
Yeah.
it changes things, changes the outcome of those friendships,
Yep.
the trajectory, what you're doing
Yep.
in those friendships. I live my life one way in all my friendships, my whole life, it feels. And now God has beautifully moved me into this new season. And there are times I will literally send my friends, like, oh, let's go here and do this, of things that were happening back here, right?
Yep.
And they cannot happen. They God literally won't align it to happen. Whether there's no free time, sporting events, things are happening to where I just literally
It's
can't
like
book
he's
that.
holding up a giant sign and saying,
You're
"Hey,
not going
pick
back.
me.
You're
I'm the
not
only
going
one
back.
you need."
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And I've been telling my husband for the past couple of weeks of just, this is so strange, because I'm not meeting and just drinking away my emotions anymore
Yeah.
at girls' dinner. That's
Yeah.
what it's called in your
Girls'
30s.
dinner.
Girls' dinner. Where honestly,
Girl dinner.
I would go and drink away my emotions or my feelings and then go home. And I never went home feeling better.
Yeah.
I went home and it just carried on with me.
Yeah.
Now, though, is so beautiful because I'm meeting and we're talking about it. We're praying together. We're joining Bible studies together.
I love that.
It's so cool.
It's real.
God
Yes.
set you up for what
Yes.
He wanted.
The rest
and
of
it
the
hurt
stuff's counterfeit.
a little.
It is. It is. And it's hard to
When you
break
try
away.
to drink away problems, they swim.
Yeah, that's true. And when you can't swim.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I feel
You're
like
drowned.
having a friendships in the Lord too is, like I said earlier, authentic. Fake friends aren't fun. You never know what they really think.
Yeah.
And I think if it's not a godly friendship, it's hard for it to not be that way.
Mm-hmm. And for me, it took time to get those godly friendships.
Yeah.
Everybody you hang out with is either going to lift you up or bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
I want to choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I going to hang around? Because I want them to be people who bring life and not death.
Yeah.
Yes. There's power in your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
told that over and over and over.
Life and death and the power of the tongue.
It's great.
And so I want people who make me better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason my best friend's my best friend.
So
Yeah.
Mom,
She makes me better.
do you think that it's wrong to have friendships with people who don't make you better?
I think there's a difference between what I call a friendship and a relationship.
Mm.
Yes.
There's some relationships I have where I'm trying to maybe bring someone to Christ. And I'll have a relationship there, but that's not what... And they may be people I call friend,
Yeah.
you know, but
I've
they're
wrestled
not
with that.
people I'm going to hang around with because... all the time. Because people will pull you down. The gravitational pull is always downward.
Mm-hmm.
So if I choose to hang around people, 9 times out of 10, those people are going to pull you down rather than you lift them up.
If you're standing on a chair, it's going to be a lot easier for someone to pull you down than for you to pull them up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I see girls all the time. They're going to marry somebody and that's not a believer, and they're going to bring them to Christ. And what
They're going to
happens?
change him.
Yeah, and it never works.
No.
They never change them.
No.
And I shouldn't marry anybody wanting to change them anyway.
That's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be awfully disappointed if you take that route, for sure.
Yeah.
Any concluding thoughts?
Concluding thoughts.
Oh gosh, this could be bad. That face was very mysterious.
I'll leave it alone.
I think it's just refreshing to know no matter where your season is at,
I
where
was just
you're
about
at
to say
in
that.
your season.
Yeah.
One, if you can remember that we have a friend in Jesus.
Yes.
And I know you don't want to hear that.
And He's all you need, which is
It's-
what you don't want to hear.
Yeah, you don't want to hear it. But if you can anchor
you're a
yourself
guy.
to that, yeah, the good that's coming is so good.
Yeah.
You know, I've always believed that God had this perfect plan. He's got a perfect plan.
Mm-hmm.
If I will keep my eyes on Him and stay on that straight line, He's going to put everything in that path I need. He's going to put every friend I need. He's going to put my wife. He's going to put everything I need in that path. Where I get in trouble is when I get off over here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many people have gotten over here? They got off of Jesus' path, and they found a spouse over there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now what happens? Well, 9 times out of 10, it ends in divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They find their friends over there, and then they wonder why there's heartaches that come from their friends. If I let God put the stuff in my path I need,
Yeah.
it is going to be absolutely awesome stuff.
And isn't it comforting that you don't have to work for that on your own merit? Because it's exhausting trying to live up to these expectations and think you need these friends, you need to have this status, you need to have this much money, you need to be this successful, you need to have kids by this age. Thank goodness that it's up to the Lord to let that fall in place.
If I please the Lord today, I've had a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And outside of that, I really don't need anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Of course, I'm talking like a guy, probably. I don't know.
Well,
you are.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the longer I go with a little bit less friends and just Jesus, I'm okay with it, to be honest. But there's seasons. I think it's okay that
How many
friendships
friends
come and
did
go in
Abraham
seasons.
have?
Sarah?
Pretty well it.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of friends. You look at these great men of God and great women of God. They don't have a lot of.
Esther had her
people.
cousin.
Well, Daniel had Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know how close he was to
Mary
them.
had Elizabeth.
Huh?
Mary had Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth.
And went to their family.
And Elizabeth didn't say,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're carrying the Savior, and I only have the one preparing the way for the Savior." Elizabeth didn't tell her that.
Paul had people he hung around with, but they changed from missionary journey to missionary journey, depending on. But some people that were close to him, like Luke, Timothy.
Yeah.
And Timothy, he was mentoring.
Yeah. That's
So-
a word, and God blessed all of them, and he gave them everything they needed, and I bet they have more riches in heaven than we'll ever attain.
I honestly get a lot of satisfaction out of pouring into people.
Yes.
If I'm just loving people and I'm not really caring how they're responding,
Yeah.
I get a lot of satisfaction out of the fact I loved you today,
Yep.
or I helped you today, or I built something into your life today. I think that's very satisfying,
That's a word,
Yeah,
and that's important
that's
to
good.
learn.
whether it comes back or not.
Yeah. Yeah. That is something I've learned. I would say that might be top 3 things I've learned in ministry is it's not about the response. It's about how well you loved them.
Right.
And if you did your job and you feel good with the Lord about it, then it doesn't matter how they respond because you will be disappointed sometimes.
Yeah.
Everything in the biblical structure, everything's about relationships. They're vertical or horizontal.
Yeah.
And I've got to love people. He didn't say I have to be loved. He said I have to love.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying.
Yep.
I love this. I can sit with both of you all day.
Yes,
Just
we'll
keep
have to
going
have you
and
back,
forth.
girl.
Oh, I love it so much. She clearly does. too.
She's snoozing
Just
away.
moaning down there.
Yeah.
All you got to do is walk across the street.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Just come on over, yeah.
Yeah, you're
But-
always welcome.
Well, thank you.
And
now
we're-
with those bikes,
Yes.
y'all are.
But I couldn't
They
get you
got
on the bike.
Mom and Dad got electric bikes.
I know.
Yeah.
They did, and we see them, and it's
It's
very
snazzy.
Cutesy. It is. I
It's
love
very
it for
cutesy.
You. I do. But they tried talking me on to one of the
I
bikes.
heard.
So there's this thing that happens to me whenever
Oh, no.
whenever I really think I can do something.
And I need to
can't do
see
it.
this so bad.
And Cleveland, my husband, got on one of their bikes
Uh-huh.
and just started screaming like a kid as he went down the road, like, woo!
Peak athleticism.
No, I don't want to fall off. I don't want to break it. I don't want anything to happen.
And Avery just bought a motorcycle.
You did? So maybe you could try out that bike.
Well, no, Bethany.
No. No, I can't.
I
She
used
said
to
no.
ride one.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, all him and all of his sons. I think it's actually
Wow.
genetic because Avery has now decided that he needs a motorcycle, and Nat had one, and Chad had one, and Zach had one. And I have no desire. I am the golden
It's also a
child.
guy thing. It's a guy thing.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's very freeing.
I bet.
Anyways, well, I think this has been an excellent conversation. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you both.
Hey, if you're watching this and you feel like you're in a season where you don't have a ton of friends, you're not weird. You're actually normal, whether you're in college or a mom or in your 60s. Who knows? But you do have a friend
If you
in
have
Jesus.
too many friends, you're probably running with a gang.
Speaking of motorcycles,
Yeah, he had to just pipe in there and say that real quick.
just something quick.
You probably don't need that kind of friends.
True. But hey,
If your friends are the Crips,
Robert shouldn't say that. Left her speechless. And now I'm joking. Hey, you got a friend in Jesus, and we should go out to love God first and then love people. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.